Okay, here's my number 6th ranked fantasy running back this year, Dalvin Cook. Believe it or not, even with Dalvin Cook missing some time last year, he was still 7th in the league in overall touches. He had 49 targets last year, which is a little bit less than 4 targets per game, so he wasn't extremely involved in the pass game. But when he did play, he was averaging about 23 touches per game, and that's gonna get it done for fantasy. However, this past season was the most inefficient season of Dalvin Cook's career. Among the 35 running backs who had 40 or more targets last year, Dalvin Cook was 29th in yards per route run. And among the 18 running backs who had 200 or more carries last year, Dalvin Cook was second to last. He was 17th in yards after contact per attempt. Now, he only scored 6 touchdowns last year after scoring 17 and 13 touchdowns the year before. Touchdowns vary from year to year. It's a highly unpredictable stat, but I do expect that number to go way up if we do see him get the workload that we project him for and he stays healthy. I mean, he had 15 carries inside the 5-yard line and he only scored 3 touchdowns off of those 15 carries. I'd expect that percentage to go up this year, and Alexander Mattison wasn't really involved in that part of the game when Dalvin Cook was healthy. He only had 4 total carries inside the 5-yard line last year. Cook doesn't come without risk. I'm curious to know whether those shoulder injuries are mounting up to the point where we should just be avoiding him in drafts. He's going off the board as the RB6 on Underdog at the end of the first round. And I'm thinking, like, is it safer to go with a running back that late who is going to have a ton of opportunity, who might not have like a lingering, potentially chronic issue? Now, for what it's worth, he did recently say that his shoulder does feel the best that it's ever been coming into OTAs, coming into camp, so take that for what it's worth. Now, when Dalvin Cook did play, and the reason why he's ranked so high is because of the fact that he is a workhorse. He has the ability to be efficient. He played 70% of snaps or more in all the games that he did finish or was healthy for. Until the very end of the year when he got COVID, missed a game, and then the next 2 games, he didn't really play as much as he normally would. Now, there has been rumblings out of OTAs saying that he's being used as a wide receiver more, and that would be very welcome. He only lined up as a receiver last year, whether it was in the slot or on the outside, for a total of 37 times. So any change there, as we know, targets are worth more than carries. I would welcome this a ton. Now, despite me talking about how inefficient Dalvin Cook was in the receiving game this past year, he is a good receiver. He just didn't have a great year in that regard. In 2020, among all 28 running backs who had 40 targets or more, he was 10th in yards per route run. And then in 2019, among all 32 of the running backs who did hit that 40 target threshold, he was 2nd among all of them in yards per route run. Where he did stand out last year was his ability to create big plays. He was 2nd only to Jonathan Taylor in the number of breakaway runs that he had and the number of breakaway runs that he had on a per carry basis.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
And breakaway runs meaning 15 yards or more. He also had the 3rd most rushing attempts last year that went 10 yards or more. Now, if you like to handcuff your own running backs, that could be the topic of a whole nother video, but Alexander Mattison is one of the best handcuffs in the NFL. He's an easy plug and play RB1, likely high-end RB1 if Dalvin Cook were to miss time. I personally don't like handcuffing my own running backs, but in this particular situation, it might make a sense. It might make a sense. I might make an exception because of the clarity in that backfield. All right, guys, those are my top 10 fantasy running backs. If you want to see the rest of my rankings, go check out my Instagram. I'll put the link in the description below. Thank you guys, as always. Really appreciate you. See you later.